Welcome to the very first episode, the inaugural episode of The Fueling Station.
The Fueling Station, phenomenal.
I'm your host, Ed Kammerer with OPW, and this is my good friend, Jonathan Stong.
Good afternoon.
Also with OPW. And what we're going to do is, Johnny, we're going to talk about the petroleum industry. You know, you and I combined have over 50 years experience in this industry.
That's right, and a wealth of knowledge. Hopefully we can pass on.
So we're actually excited to bring our very first episode. We thought a great place to do this is live in Las Vegas at the WPMA trade show.
Which, you know, Ed, if I could say here, has always been one of my favorites.
Yeah, it kind of kicks off the year. It's our first trade show of the year.
Yep.
We've got some other regional shows coming up. We'll be in Myrtle Beach next week at the Southeast Petro Show.
5 days away, exciting, good times.
And then we'll be in Indianapolis in May for the Impact show. So trade show season is upon us. But just kind of give you a little background of what to expect from our podcast. We kind of refer to ourselves as the Podtroleum guys.
Podtroleum, baby. That's
Eddie
it.
and Johnny, the Podtroleum guys.
I love it. I think this is long overdue, to be honest with you.
Right. So we'll bring out future episodes where, again, we're just going to talk about issues in the petroleum industry. And between you and I, we have a lot of stories to share.
A ton.
So we want it to be informative, but we're also going to have a lot of fun with it. You know, you and I both, we like to have fun.
Indeed.
We care about this industry, but we like to have fun while we're doing it.
That's right. And I think, Ed, you've said this many times throughout the years that we've been friends and colleagues is, you know, one thing I think we're good at is winning the right way. And doing things, you know, above board and making sure that we're making priorities the best interest of our customers.
Yep. And that's what we'll be pointing out in future episodes. Again, important issues to the industry, how to keep people safe while they're fueling. You know, we say fueling what's next. That's what OPW does. We fuel what's next, and we don't make it about OPW. It's more about the industry. Let's introduce everybody to the Podtroleum guys, if you will.
Get after it.
So I'll start. You know, my name's Ed Kammerer. I've been with OPW. Actually, I just celebrated my 24th anniversary last week. So February of 1998, I came to OPW. So I've been here for 24 years. Prior to that, I worked for a large petroleum contractor based out of the Southeast. And believe it or not, a lot of people don't know, but I actually have a degree in petroleum engineering. But unfortunately, when I came out of West Virginia University with my petroleum engineering degree, it was the late 80s, and the oil industry was bottomed out. So there were no more jobs out in the oil field. So I kind of looked downstream and ended up instead of pulling oil out of the ground, I ended up building gas stations. So I've been doing this for almost 30 years in this industry, and I've held various positions within OPW. Started out in tech support, and then moved my way up. I was a district manager, so I was out in the field for 13 years, and then about 10 years ago they pulled me out of the field and put me in charge of product development. Why in the world they did that, I don't know. But it's worked out pretty good because I've launched some pretty cool products in the last 10 years.
Absolutely.
So now I oversee all of our product development, engineering, and I didn't have enough to do, so they put me in charge of marketing as well. So
you didn't have enough to do. Absolutely.
Did not have enough to do. So enough about me.
Yeah,
Tell us about you, Johnny. I know you've been doing this a long time as well.
I appreciate that. Yeah, so Jonathan Stong, right, this is my 25th year in the industry. It is my 16th year with OPW, so fantastic. Kudos to OPW. Thanks for this opportunity. But like yourself, you know, I held multiple jobs within this industry. So in those 25 years, I started out very similar. I started out in customer service. I worked in accounts payable. I worked in accounts receivable, engineering, tech support, field services, sales, management of sales. And then OPW gave me the opportunity and some of the wherewithal, if you will, to start in the management aspect, doing global account management. Yep. So as you know, Ed, because we were there together, doing this global account management for the last 10, 15 years has been wonderful. And bringing all the knowledge, like you're saying, working with the contractors, working with engineering firms, working with end users, understanding exactly what goes into making a sustainable station. Yeah. But having that passion is really something, you know, we could have left a long time ago. I mean, we joke, you try to leave, it sucks you back in. Yeah. But I haven't tried to leave.
Hey, you and I both know this is the best industry in the world. We wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
I definitely wouldn't want to do anything else. You know,
the best people.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'd say the best people in this industry. And you and I, like you said, you hit on it. We're fortunate we have the opportunity to travel globally. So you and I have been all over the world.
Seeing it done right, seeing it done wrong.
Exactly.
And seeing all different, nomenclatures within this industry, and seeing different design bases for systems, underground, above ground, all aspects. It's been a pleasure. So, to take this information, to take, from all the people we've been working with, you and I don't get to spend as much time as I would like together. So this is a great excuse for us to get together, share the information, because truly, like you said, that passion. There's not many of us that have the level of passion for this industry.
So if you think about it, I don't care what corner of the world that you're in, we do the same thing. Our job is the same, no matter where. It's to keep gasoline out of the ground, keep gasoline vapors out of the air, and make it safe for people to refuel their vehicles.
That's it. Fuel flowing
and
safely.
They may do it in different ways and use different pieces of equipment in different parts of the world, but at the end of the day, it's all still the same thing: protecting people and protecting the environment. And I know that's something you and I are very passionate about.
Absolutely, and I think that's one of the core reasons why, personally, I've stayed in this industry. The intent to do right the first time, for the expectancy of that marketer and for that station.
Because Lord knows we've seen plenty of ways to do it incorrectly.
That's right. The hits keep coming. We still see it. So, hopefully we'll get some interaction with some of the folks that listen to this podcast and maybe share some of those stories with us.
The do's and don'ts, if you will.
Absolutely. The best practices on and off the station floor. So I'm looking forward to sharing that. I'm looking forward to potentially livening it up a little bit, getting some energy, because
absolutely,
I don't think you and I are that flat, but this is going to propel us to that level where we're going to actually excite people and get people interested, motivated, and wanting to do the right thing.
Hey, there's two things we love. We love petroleum equipment, and we love having fun. We thought this would be the perfect place to kick off trade shows. Hey, let's face it, we haven't been doing this for 2 years.
I have missed seeing your beautiful face, Ed. Let me just
Yours
be honest
as well.
with you. To be here live with you, to be in front of everyone, to see all of our customers, this is important. I think relationships are still one of the most important aspects of our business, because people want to trust you. And they want to know that they're working with partners. And you and I think, have established that track record of trust. So being here, seeing people face to face, we know business hasn't slowed down.
It sure hasn't.
So the fact that now that we're actually getting to see people put things to the paper and then move forward, exciting. So you nailed it. Topics coming up that mean important aspects to the industry, to yourself personally, professionally, myself personally and professionally. I'm excited about it. And like you said, starting it here, beginning of the year, WPMA, one of our best regional trade shows that we deal with. It's kicking off a great season. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, we say this all the time. This is a relationship-driven industry.
Absolutely.
And, the pandemic has forced us to, try and do things virtually or over Teams meetings. But let's face it, it's nothing replaces the face-to-face interaction that you have at trade shows or visiting customers face-to-face, one-on-one. So we're kind of happy. Hopefully the pandemic is behind us.
Correct.
We're able to do these events again. We got a full schedule of trade shows planned for this year.
So good.
And, like I said, what better way than, hey, we're in Las Vegas.
Baby. I'm excited. Yeah, and so far this show's been great. The attendance, I can't believe, has been, better than I could have anticipated.
I think, people are dying to get out. They've been trapped for 2 years.
I know.
And a lot of, the industry hasn't slowed down
at all.
People have still been building gas stations for those 2 years. And so it's really, you hear the term pent-up demand. Mm-hmm. We say it with equipment orders, but also I think there's pent-up demand with people seeing each other and talking face-to-face and going out and having a beverage after the show and a nice dinner and really connecting with one-on-one with their customers. That's the best thing about this industry.
That connection. And, I think OPW has always had a good contingency at all these regional shows. We have great coverage. We bring in the people that, make a difference for us every day, whether they're at the factory, manufacturing, or they're out in the field, sales guys, product management, upper management, all here because this is where the deals get done. This is where business comes to play.
Yep.
So I'm excited. And you nailed it for next week. Going back to the East Coast next week, having another show, having another trade show there, super excited. Getting there early, getting set up, having that energy. And I think this podcast, you guys have been talking about this for a good many years.
Yeah, we've been wanting to do this for a while.
Yep.
And I think the timing is perfect, coming off the 2-year hiatus, if you will. The pandemic, everyone's anxious, everyone's, looking for content. And, again, so the content that we're going to be providing, obviously we want it to be informative. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things happening in the industry. You and I have a lot of information, a lot of knowledge to share, a lot of history. Like I said, 50 years between us.
Absolutely.
And but we want to have some fun with it.
That's what I want to do. I want to have some fun.
We have some great stories, and we'll keep it clean.
Somewhat
clean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Because we know this thing's got to be approved by some people, and
we respect.
We'll save those stories for off mic.
That's right. So I think in the future, what we're going to have some questions, some topics to discuss, and just some situations that we're going to work through. And I think that people who tune in, they're going to add value to it too,
Yep.
because if they have an opportunity to
Yep.
make this,
And that's how this will work. So this is obviously our very first episode.
Amazing.
So now we'll send out, people will be aware of it, and then on social media platforms before our next episode, we'll ask, hey, is there anything specific you'd like to hear about? All right, Johnny. So I think that wraps up the inaugural episode, our very first podcast together.
Yes.
The Fueling Station. Again, I'm Ed Kammer, Director of Marketing and Global Product Strategy for OPW. This is my good friend.
I'm Jonathan Stahn, the Global Accounts Manager for OPW.
So check us out wherever you find your podcasts. Look for future episodes, and we'll see you fueling what's next.
See you soon.
See
Cheers.
you soon.